Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning. It is time for Coffee Ann here on ON AM and FM. We thank you for joining us on Wednesday morning. It's May 10th, and my name is Joe Callahan. Around the Coffee Ann table, we'll say good morning to Amanda LaRose from Navigate Credit Union. Hi, Amanda.
Good morning.
And Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities. Hi, Melissa.
Morning, everybody.
Who just got here in time because someone broke down in the drive-thru at the Dunkin'.
It happens.
Over here on Park Ave.
Anybody else ever have a panic moment when it doesn't happen often that someone breaks down, but if you're thinking you have enough time to get a coffee on your way somewhere, you allow enough time and then it takes forever, or in this case, someone breaks down, you can't get out of the drive-thru.
No, now you're stuck.
Someone's
in front of you, someone's behind you.
It was questionable if I would make it on time, and it was a bad excuse to say it's because of coffee, but it would have been, but we're good.
That's funny.
We're good.
Which Dunkin'?
The one right over here.
Oh, Park Ave.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
And normally they're speedy, so I timed it.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I can see
Plenty
around
of
the bend of that drive-thru, which means it's only like 4 cars to the
Yeah.
window. I've got this. Yeah.
Did they have to come out and push the car?
No, it ended up starting.
It did,
There was a
okay.
moment I was panicking. She seemed fine. I think she seemed like I've got nowhere to be. It's
Be,
fine.
so
Or
funny.
maybe it happens often. But it just was that
that's-
moment of, am I going to have to jump the
funny.
curb? You know? Because otherwise, how do you get out in an emergency?
You go wait for everyone to back
You
up.
don't.
Can you back up? Can everyone back up a little?
Oh my gosh, that's a
What
very narrow drive-through.
Oh,
So
it
that would be a
is.
lot of
That would-
maneuvering.
That would be tough. All right, John Ward is here too. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, everybody. And in the good old days, they used to actually have a lane to get around that kind of nonsense. In some parking lots, they still do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not this one.
Not this
That's
one.
a
It's
tight
way
squeeze.
way too tight over
Actually,
there.
I've had a just as frustrating experience where I've actually driven to a coffee shop and thought, oh, everybody's in the drive-thru. That's a 20-minute wait. I think I'll walk inside. I walk inside. All they're working on is the drive-thru.
Is the drive-thru?
customers.
Yeah, no, that's true.
It's like,
That's true.
hello.
Or you're inside
here.
with the people that are picking up like 5 dozen donuts and a coffee list for like 20 coworkers. Yeah, it never. Yeah, it's fine. I made it, so we're not going to dwell
That's
on this.
about-
I could
Good you're
consume the
here.
entire show with this topic,
this,
to be
but
honest.
we don't want to do that.
And we do not want to do that.
Otherwise,
We
you
don't.
have me talking about the continuum of care.
That's right. It is time for first message from the St. Antoine Communities, Melissa. So over to you.
Right. So for those of you that don't know a lot about St. Antoine Community, we are a large long-term care campus located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skill care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the 2 buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you are presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can reach me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@stantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. Well, we'll start off with not so good news. The one of the top stories that's on the front page of today's Call as well. A man from Lincoln, John, has been arrested for murder. This goes back to they found a body in the Carbuncle Pond. That's in Coventry. Yes, and the woman passed away. She was pregnant at the time as well, and they arrested a man from Lincoln and a man from Pawtucket for the murder of this woman. And the person from Lincoln named Gary Grumkowitz. He is the father of the unborn child.
This is disturbing. Did this just
yes.
break? I had no idea.
Well, the arrest just broke.
Okay.
The actual finding of the body was last
I remember
December.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that part.
they were just arrested yesterday.
Because we were talking on the air about whether that body at the time that was found had anything to do with the body that was found near the airport, right? They were within a short
Yeah,
period of
that's
each
right.
other, and we didn't know if it was going to be interconnected.
Now, the other person that was arrested, Michael Lambert, he's out on parole for the mid-1990s murder of somebody else. So
Wow,
these are the
disturbing
real nice
all
people
around.
out here. Yeah.
Disturbing all around.
He was convicted of killing a woman by the name, a guy by the name of Sylvester Gardner, the son of former East Greenwich town clerk Avis Gardner. So, wow, and
What a world.
what a world!
so he
You're
was
right.
accused of killing someone, and he was out.
he was on parole, so he
was on
was
parole.
convicted.
Convicted,
Of killing
served
somebody.
time, probably released
Served
on
time.
parole to
Yeah.
serve the rest of his time.
Yeah, and these two guys get together, and I don't know how they know each other, but oh yeah, I know a place in Coventry where we can dump the body. They'll never find it. I'm just speculating, of course, and so that's what happened. So why she was killed? That information I don't have. So
Well, that's
I don't know what's
unfortunate.
going on there. So
She was pregnant, maybe.
that's the reason to kill somebody.
I don't know.
It's kind of harsh.
I feel sad. I'm
It's
happy
tough
for the
trying to
family
put
to have a
yourself in
little
the
closure.
mindset
But
of a murderer.
Yeah, it is
If
when you're not one.
a murderer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, what about you, Amanda? I'm kidding, of course.
Sad, sad world.
Yeah.
Honestly.
All right. Now we brought this up last week, and we all laughed about it because the dispensaries
jeez.
the dispensaries in Rhode Island can't advertise, and we said Tim and Melissa and John are gonna be the new pot advertising put in the Cannabis Commission. They all turned it down for some reason. I don't know why, but
I'm going to turn it down as well.
as well. Well, all right.
our three
Jeez,
brains
boy,
could
you
really
just-
come up with a creative pitch. But yeah,
Oh, I
that's
thought you were
just-
going to bring up the roommate who killed his roommate at the nursing home.
Oh, we
Oh,
did.
we did do
well, we
that.
talked about
Who
that
they
yesterday.
deemed to be
Yeah,
incompetent.
incompetent.
And I had some sarcastic
Reservations?
little remarks I was thinking of making last week that I didn't,
Okay, you
in
want to
the
make them
interest
now?
of good taste. But the only one that crossed my mind is, okay, he's in a nursing home. If they convict him, where are they going to put him? In a nursing home? state-operated nursing home?
He's probably already at Butler, to be honest,
yeah.
for evaluation and geropsych ward. But yeah, no, and this is a
Sure.
crisis across the board in healthcare. Is
Yeah.
a lot of people have issues when you combine mental health or cognitive impairment with the general population in a skilled environment. There's not enough.
And of course, in his case, a life sentence
Resources.
would probably be fairly short.
Well, it'd probably be found, guilty, but by reasons of insanity, and nothing's
Yeah,
going to happen.
No, nothing.
But they did deem him incompetent to stand trial. But it looks like he planned this out because he barricaded the door.
Sounds like he was frustrated with overtime and
Yeah.
decided to do something about it.
So it sounded a little competent to me. But
Well, paranoia
yeah,
is a real thing,
right. Okay.
whether it's with a mental health impairment or Alzheimer's, whatever, cognitive impairment exists for that person in a form of a diagnosis, whatever it might be. We're going to keep it real vague. But hallucinations and paranoia are a real thing. And if that's something he was struggling with for a long period of time, I mean, he can retain that even if he has dementia.
Mm-hmm.
That can be a premeditated event. That's something in his head that he's thought through and acted upon, unfortunately. But I'm sure he even expressed it to prior killing
Okay.
him. But anyways, there's a lot of speculation on this, but I try not to judge because when you work amongst a population like that, you do see the compassionate side of it, that
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that he probably chose to do, but the illness that he's struggling with possessed him to do. So it's just sad. Another
It is-
sad.
it is sad all
so
the
we're
way around,
opening, with
two
really sad
families.
stuff.
This is very
Thanks,
sad.
Joe.
Can
All right.
This is
Can
usually
we
the end of
change
the
it up
show.
a little bit?
Should we go back to marijuana?
Samples? Is that
no,
what we're doing?
no samples today. But the House passed legislation to the Senate to allow the state's cannabis dispensaries to advertise their products. This is what this whole thing is trying to get to, and the dispensaries can't advertise right now. And the bill was sponsored by Scott Slater of Providence, allow Rhode Island Office of Cannabis Regulation to handle the advertising rules instead of the Cannabis Commission, which hasn't been formed yet. And the House said, yeah, okay, so now it moves on to the Senate. They just want to put up billboards.
You know, I heard the issue
and it's
discussed
such a
elsewhere,
hassle.
and it occurs to me that part of the problem with that Cannabis Commission has to do with the fact that the governor appoints them, as is called for in our separation of powers that they changed in the Constitutional Convention some time ago.
Mm-hmm.
However, he can only appoint from a list of people provided by the Senate President and the House Speaker,
Really?
which is sort of like controlled by the legislature, and that's inconsistent with our Constitution, separation of powers, and that's what I'm told. What I heard was part of what's holding this up. Is
Well, what about the whole background checks are taking so long to come back? Is that not really
it
true?
Could be true, but
Yeah.
again, it's people that are being names that are provided by the General Assembly leadership to the governor, from whom he can select, and that in and of itself may create a constitutional problem, even if they do finally get through the background checks, which should take, I think, minutes.
Yeah, well, you would think.
Yeah.
I just think it's so ironic that you have to be on the Cannabis Commission. You have to be clean. You gotta have.
Although
a
before
perfect
my son
record.
went into the Navy, he had applied to be a state police officer, and their background checks included
Extensive.
personal interviews with people, neighbors,
Oh, yeah?
relatives, things of that nature. So that may be part of what takes time.
Years ago, I had to fill out a form. I was sent a form. A friend of mine that I graduated high school with was going to do government work or something like that, and I was sent something as like a.
Yeah.
Is he a danger?
Character
I
witness
guess.
or,
Do you have any reservations about this guy?
If you're going for top
wow.
secret clearance, they
I'm like,
usually
no.
check with your friends and people you've known over the years.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he got through just fine. All right. Did you end up, Amanda or Melissa?
This must be a girl question.
It is.
I feel-
Did you end up getting Taylor Swift concert tickets?
Oh my God, I can't talk about
So
this.
I did not.
Okay.
My sister-in-law in Maryland did, and they are going in
In
June.
Maryland?
Yep. So they're going
okay.
to Pittsburgh, I think, is her show in June.
It's kind of far from Maryland, isn't it?
Maryland?
No, it's not that bad.
No? Oh, okay.
Depends
Maybe
on
it's
which
not
part of Maryland
Pittsburgh.
you're in.
Pittsburgh's on the western side of Pennsylvania.
No, then
Philadelphia's on the eastern side.
maybe it's Philadelphia. It's
Oh,
a
well,
peak.
okay.
I don't know. I didn't ask. But my
There's a part
sister-in-law
of Maryland
called.
that goes all the way out below Harrisburg,
Oh,
which
does
is
it?
just down the road from
Oh, okay.
Pittsburgh. So
Yeah, it's
pretty
only a
good.
drive. It's only like a 4-hour drive, so it's not bad.
4-hour drive.
Oh, it'd be worth it. It's fine.
But so
Just
my
around the
sister-in-law bought tickets. She bought 6 tickets for, I'm going to say it,
How much?
for $400 a piece. And she called me and said, "We're renting a house for a night in, where near the concert.
This
Do you
started
want to
out.
come?" And I said, "That's a $2,000 night for me
Yeah.
to fly, sleep overnight, and go to a concert where I probably know 2 songs, and I don't want to be around everybody." So no, I'm good, thank you.
But thank you for the offer.
We are no longer friends.
I'm sorry.
What is happening?
I don't mind her, but I there are so many other people I would rather see in concert and spend the $400 on that to me is a blip in the radar. So, but she did end up getting 6 tickets, and she sold 2 of them.
Did she? Well, okay.
You have to be a
For more than
diehard to go and
more
spend
than 400,
that.
I hope.
$2,000 a piece.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's paid for.
Paid for.
It's paid for, and then
Oh,
she
smart
could have given it to me
lady.
for free.
God, that was pretty
That
smart
would
of
have been a
her.
good strategy.
I just bring it up because the T decided, well, we're going to put in special trains
Yeah.
to go to Foxborough, and they sold out.
They're sold
Yeah.
out. So,
so
what
now
do you
they're
do?
now they're putting in more trains.
Yeah.
So the T is selling additional train tickets on the dates of May 20th and 21st. T says the additional tickets won't go on sale this Friday at 11, exclusively via the M-Ticket app. So
The Metro app, yeah.
is that what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart. That'll help out with parking because parking's the biggest fiasco in
Yeah.
the entire
I'm trying to
world
think,
at those
is
concerts.
the Foxborough train station stop?
Yes.
That close to?
Yes, it's
Sure.
right. It's
Yeah.
right behind the stadium.
Is it right behind the
Yes.
stadium?
Yeah.
I mean, within 500 yards of the
And
stadium.
that lot that's over near the train
can't
that-
see- you can't see
where
it
they
from the
dump
road.
off is like the best lot to tailgate
Is
in
it?
if you can get over there. Yeah, because it's like a really easy walk to the back entrance of Gillette. But it's, yeah. I think we've acquired tickets as of last night.
Wow. Good for you.
So
Fun.
but my girls aren't listening, so
So they don't know.
this is a good thing.
so it's
Yeah.
gonna be a surprise.
It'll be a surprise.
Wow.
Long time coming. My husband the whole time was
Maneuvering.
working with someone not working. He wasn't
Yeah.
working an angle, but someone he knows was confident that he'd be able to hook him
tickets.
up with getting some tickets, and I think we might be in.
Wow.
But I'm not trying to get ahead of myself. But I should know. I might even know on the air, and then you'll hear me scream.
Screaming.
But
She
it's
came
just,
in like a wrecking ball.
I came in. What I did here, which I
is that
think
a Taylor Swift song? Good reference, Amanda.
I know, right?
my girls have been trying to, for the last few months, shake us down. Like, oh, you probably got them right, Mom. Like, and
Oh, nudge, nudge.
setting expectations so low. And then even just this morning, she said something to me, and I'm like, in my head, trying not to spill it, the possibility of getting them. And so, but she was sharing, which I thought was really great. And this is what makes Taylor Swift concerts special, is evidently there's this whole movement happening of people go to the concert this year with friendship bracelets. Did you hear about this?
No.
Everyone's encouraged to bring 200 homemade friendship bracelets and exchange them with people at the concert, which is
Isn't
kind of
that
all
cute?
about like it's cute, but it's also part of what Taylor Swift's platform is, which is just all
Alright.
about like friendship and being good people, and that's what I've latched to with her as a fan is like she's
Okay.
just been a good
Role model.
artist for my girls to grow up with. Their
Yeah.
age is a little different than your daughter, so they have definitely grown up with her and they connect with the lyrics of every album for different reasons. But I just thought, that's a really cute gimmick, yes, cutesy.
Mm-hmm.
But for those girls that are going that have followed her along the way, like there's a deeper meaning behind it, and they put a lot into making their bracelets, and then go there and exchange them with people. It's kind of a cool memory.
Are your girls gonna make 200 friendship bracelets?
So part of the way I will,
Because now I just internally panic that I have to
I
make
have to make them
200
too?
friendship bracelets before.
so the bottom line is, my husband was saying, well, how are we going to tell them? How are we going to surprise them if I get the tickets, And I said, well, I've already on Amazon ordered a friendship kit bracelet, and that will be our job this weekend. Sit down and bang out some homemade beaded bracelets or whatever it might be. But anyways, we don't need to go into the depths of all that, but I just wanted to share that those are the kinds of quirky things that every one of her concerts that she has over the year for different albums she's featuring, there's some kind of thing that her fans do.
All right.
And it bonds them, which
See,
is kind of cute.
In the old days, when you actually got the tickets,
Mm-hmm.
you could have taken the tickets and just like put them on a plate
Mm-hmm.
and have them just come down and look at them. But you can't do that anymore because
No.
tickets are all on
Everything's
your
like
phone now,
right.
so you can't. Oh well.
I know.
Ah,
So I'll
good
let you know
days.
officially next week.
All right, great. All right,
Mm-hmm.
and so, but if you don't have tickets, I would stay away from Foxborough.
I would too.
Not
Yeah.
this
I think
weekend.
it's gonna be nuts.
A week from this weekend, it's gonna be insane.
That's-
And the Xfinity Center starts on the same weekend. So Janet Jackson is in Mansfield on the 19th.
I do love Janet Jackson. I
Avoid-
didn't know she was in the
You're gonna
area.
avoid that whole area
Avoid
of
the whole
Massachusetts because
area,
it's gonna
yeah.
be
You're
nuts.
younger than me, but were
I
you?
love Janet Jackson.
Did you ever see her in concert back in what
Days?
album was that one?
Oh,
It.
I'm not
The song
sure.
It. Was it called? Was the album called It?
I don't know.
Or If I was your lover. I gotta think of the name of the song. That album where she was like naked on the album covers. Anybody remember that with the hands?
Oh, with the hands. I do remember that.
I knew you remember that, Joe.
There's music with that?
I saw I saw that concert. That was like my second concert ever that I went to,
Alright.
and it was just
Just big.
well, she's just a dancer. So
Oh,
it
yeah,
didn't even matter if she could sing or
Sing.
not.
Yeah.
It was just the dancers, the choreography was so awesome.
All right, enough of that now. John's falling asleep, so
No,
kidding.
He's texting with like a
I'm
size
texting
20
with
font.
my wife over a matter that she called on during
Oh,
the
okay.
show. So.
Very good. Melissa, it's time for a second message from the St. Antoine communities, and then we'll move right along.
Oh, so as we're talking about the longest day next week and possibly for Taylor Swift fans, I will reference the longest day for the Alzheimer's Association is being celebrated on June 21st. And we are doing our part in trying to bring awareness to it and raise some funds to support the Rhode Island Alzheimer's Association. So we're going to be selling purple pinwheels at our two receptionist desks, the one at the Villa as well as the one at St. Antoine Residence. They will be $5 a piece. They are disassembled on purpose so that loved ones who are purchasing them can write a little message in memory of or in honor of a loved one that they know of that has fought the fight. And then we will be assembling them and putting them along our walking path on the back of our property as a visual display on the 21st, but also just to kind of, again, bring awareness to Alzheimer's. And so anyways, if you're interested, feel free to stop by 10 Rhodes Ave or 400 Mendon Road in North Smithfield. Again, we're only up the street from this location of the radio, probably about 1.5 miles at most. We'd love to see you, so swing by if you need any help or information. You can call me at 401-767-3500. I might even drop some purple pinwheels. I can't even say purple pinwheels.
tough
Purple
alliteration.
pinwheels here in the lobby at the radio if Dave allows me to, so the folks that might be interested can pop by here as well. So.
Very good there, Melissa. Thanks. More of the Coffee Amp program. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240. For home-style cooked meals, you'll always be happy you decided to stop into Missy's Family Restaurant. They're open 7 days a week at 7 a.m. Breakfast is served all day. Great food, tasty food, with large portions is what you'll find at Missy's Family Restaurant. From juicy burgers and crispy fries to satisfying pasta dishes and fresh seafood. Bring your loved ones, enjoy a meal that will leave you feeling happy and satisfied. Missy's Family Restaurant, 801 Clinton Street, Woonsocket. Come on down and taste the difference. The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5 FM.
Alrighty, it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Amanda LaRose, Melissa Smith, and John Ward. Well, the verdict came down yesterday in the whole Trump trial, the civil trial that took place in New York. I just thought it was very odd. He was not convicted as being a rapist, but he was convicted of sexual assault. And they awarded the woman $5 million.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, he did not attend the...
No.
He didn't have to, so he didn't. I just guess his lawyer, who will appeal, said it's enough of a circus as it is. Having him here would just made it more of a circus.
The bigger part of the judgment had to do with the comments he made in October of 22.
And
The slanderous comments.
Yeah,
that-
smearing
that
her name.
was he found guilty of libel?
Probably something like that, yes.
I think he was. Okay.
It was two sections. One had to do with the sexual battery, and the other one had to do with where there was a damages and then punitive damages of a small amount, 20,000. And the second one was the comments he made in October of 22, where they found him at fault there, and that was a pretty significant chunk of change. And then $280,000 of punitive damages. So the bigger number had to do with his obnoxious behavior, as he usually does.
Is he still claiming that he doesn't even know who this woman
Yes,
is?
that was part of his
Okay.
rebuttal after
Yeah.
the findings
Yeah.
Yeah.
were released. He said, "I don't even know this woman. This is a
Complete fabrication.
biggest witch hunt in history."
Well, I've heard the witch hunt one going on. All right, we'll go around the table. Amanda, does this hurt his chances to get the nomination? Not even win the presidency, get the Republican nomination.
I'm gonna go with a no comment.
No
right
comment
now.
on that. All right, very good. Melissa, you want any thoughts on whether or not this affects him politically?
I'd like to say yes, that
Okay.
I hope it does. But
Okay.
and this, I've shared this on the air. I'm not necessarily Republican or Democrat. This just has to do with having a candidate that I think is a good person running our country. I just think there's been enough of him and his behaviors, and whether it's rumors or whether it's true, it's enough. It's too much of a circus surrounding someone leading our government. So I actually hope it does impact him, and I think the Republicans need to find another candidate to latch to.
All right, John, does it affect his candidacy?
This in and of itself is a no, but it's like the crack in the dam. As
And it's a start?
more flows, he's got several criminal investigations going on that may lead to indictments and trials, and so I think the cascading effect of what this will release, because they finally finished something and came to a conclusion, will open the floodgates a little bit wider and allow for more things to come through. And as they do, he will come closer and closer to criminal prosecution, which will knock him out of the
Out of the
running.
race, yeah. Okay. Well, it all remains to be seen. And
And then Joe Biden can step aside and Michelle Obama can jump in.
do you really see that happening?
I don't know.
No. All right. He's being. I think he's being facetious.
I just don't know how we keep just regurgitating the same people and how we're not able
Isn't that tragic?
It's just like, God, how many millions of people in this world?
330 million people in the
God.
country, and all we can come up with is a
These
group
three.
of 10
Yeah.
to do the whole thing.
And year after year after year after year
After
after year, it's
generation
just
after
like, really,
generation.
there's nobody, new and fresh and exciting and energized. No, nobody. Nobody? Really?
Melissa for president.
No, I'm good. I know I wouldn't be a good candidate. It's not that. It's like there are some
I've been
talented,
saying-
educated folks out there. Where are they?
I've been saying that since the Reagan era. Was it Gene? I always thought Gene Kirkpatrick would have made a great president. Condoleezza Rice would have made a great
Oh,
president.
I would have stood
Yeah.
behind that choice. Yeah.
There's just so many good people that are out there that you see, and I think they take a close look at it for a moment and say, "Yeah, no, I ain't getting into that stupidity pool."
Yeah, I don't want to be part of it.
It's crazy.
All right. I did see a headline quickly yesterday that Bill Clinton, remember Bill?
I remember Bill.
Bill wants to get rid of the Electoral College.
Oh.
Good for him.
And I said, well, of course he does, because Hillary won the popular vote against Trump.
course.
And that's why she would have
then-
been president.
Then we would have a single-party nation
Yeah. Not good.
because the coasts would vote Democrat every time, and we would have nothing but Democrat presidents.
Well, the way I thought about it is the people in Florida and Texas and California, they would pick the president.
No,
No?
not at all.
But
The
that's
people
isn't that where most of the
people
population
in
is?
California, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
New England would pick the president because that set of states I just named has
Has
more
the most people.
population than the rest of the country.
Not Texas?
No.
I just looked because it was so big.
No, it's big, but
All right.
not that many people.
All right, back here back here in Rhode Island now. Makes you wonder, when you're driving a moped, it's a vehicle, all right, and you have to adhere to the laws of the street, like stop signs and red lights. Well, Pawtucket Police said a moped driver involved in a 3-vehicle crash ignored the red light.
No.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Happened around 8:15 Tuesday night at the intersection of Broadway and Central Ave in Pawtucket. 17-year-old driver and a 20-year-old passenger. I didn't know you can have a passenger on a moped.
It has like the little.
You can.
Does it? Okay.
They ride low though when you've got 2 people on them.
They were both thrown from the moped and suffered non-life-threatening injuries. And 2 juveniles were arrested for disorderly conduct when an unruly crowd gathered at the accident scene.
I mean, how fast were they
No
going?
doubt-
first
no
of
doubt
all, on
with
the
their
moped?
2 people
cameras
on it,
go.
you can't go very fast.
Two
No doubt with their
people.
cameras going, trying to catch a cop doing
2
something
people,
wrong.
moped, maybe
20.
maybe 25 miles an
35,
hour,
30
maybe pushing
Yeah.
it.
But if you're going to run the red light and now you're crashing into cars
Yeah.
who have the green light.
And so you're thrown from it because you crashed into the hood, and now
Yeah,
you're thrown
now you're
going
over it.
over it. Yeah. Yeah.
But and all I can picture is the cops saying, "Well, what were you thinking?" We have to stop at the red light. I didn't realize
I
that.
wonder if the moped was registered as it should be.
It doesn't say it was unregistered. So, no, so everything's
Good for them.
that they registered it. All right. Well, remember, follow the red lights and the stop signs.
I think, and not to get off subject, but I think I'm on the road pretty much every day from Cumberland to Westerly.
Yep.
And it is crazy out there. The amount of people I see swerving in on a lane, stopping on a dime, riding between somebody, riding in between 2 cars, another car in between 2 cars on a 2-lane. Like it is. I feel like we have become a society of we have to get to point B so fast that it doesn't matter how we get there.
Or I
Speaking
can
of
do
the-
whatever I want to do whenever I want to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of the 95 North interchange with 146, which is what you just described.
Yeah.
Apparently this weekend they're opening up the new left lane exit for 146 over the new bridge that they just built
Okay.
and finished. They'll have 1 lane for the weekend, and then Monday morning they're supposed to open both lanes to make that a left exit for 146. You'll be going down the middle lanes to stay on 95, and the right lane will be the exit for the State House. So that
will be-
hopefully will be a good thing.
Hopefully it will clear
Because
up a
most
lot.
people go over to the left lane anyway and then try to squeeze to the right
Oh,
as
it's
they
a hot
get
mess.
closer and
I
closer.
guess the whole point is, and I said it to my husband because I get so I've never been a nervous driver, but getting into certain sections now, I'm like, I got 2 hands on the wheel. But it's like, if you have to take this exit, why would you be in the left-hand lane until the
Why?
last possible
Why?
minute to sneak over?
Because if you
don't
stay
know.
in your lane, it will be a 15-minute wait of stop and go because everyone else is in the left lane sneaking over and blocking the traffic.
I
up.
feel like the people you're describing are not the people necessarily, or maybe there's some. Okay, maybe not all, but some. People that you're describing might be those out-of-staters that if they're following Waze, for example, it's very hard sometimes when you're looking at the visual, the overview of the highway split there. Oh. Well, my watch decided to chime in on that. But I think sometimes it's that last minute, like you have, 1 mile, 3/4 of a mile, half a mile, but it's not indicating you have to cut across like 4 lanes of traffic to take that exit on the right. It doesn't look as.
The other part to that is that 195 West coming on to 95, the first thing you hit is 3 lanes, none of which are to continue on 95 North. So it forces you to go 3 lanes over
Correct.
to get to the left 2 lanes. Now you're in the left lanes and you keep going straight, and all of a sudden you're coming up to the 146 exchange, and it's like, okay, I have to go from here to there. That is a stopped line going back to there. This is an open line. I'm going to keep going. But it guides you there. So it's best that if you're going to take 146, you get into that left lane anyway. Hopefully this will relieve a
Hopefully it
lot of pressure.
alleviates
that
it. It was
Yeah.
just too clustered over there. So
It is. Well,
But
this
even if
might
you
open it up.
even if you're following Waze, if you look down at your phone for a second, it'll tell you there's an arrow you got to exit to the right or you got to exit to the left. So that should tell you, okay,
But
time
I
to get
feel
over.
like it doesn't give you that zoomed in view until you're like right upon the
Right
exit
on
at that moment. It gives
Yeah.
you the air, like that wider. Do you know what I'm talking about? It gives you that
Yeah.
wider
Look down
scope
at your
until you
phone
get-
while you're driving.
And that's a better
Thanks,
message.
Amanda.
I know.
Go past
My
the
car is
exit
so
and
old.
take the next one if you
My
miss
car
it.
is so old that I'm still looking at it on the phone.
great.
It's not
It's
connected
great when
to
you
my
have
screen.
exit
But
8, A, B, C,
C,
D.
yeah.
well,
It's
right,
like,
and then it doesn't tell you right
that's
until
the
I
best.
you're.
know I'm taking an
Yeah.
exit, but which one?
Which one?
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. We've got a note to get to when we come back. Time for the weather forecast being brought to us by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism.
Sunny skies today with a high of 72 degrees. Tonight, clear, overnight low of 49. Thursday's weather, sunshine and 79. Friday, sunshine and 83. Saturday, a 30% chance of a shower, mostly cloudy, high of 79. Sunday, mostly sunny and 70. Monday, mostly sunny and 72. And next Tuesday, mostly sunny and 77 degrees.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street, we do have sunny skies and 58 degrees. Take a moment to explore Massachusetts this summer. Plan your getaway today at visitma.com. A message from the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Assisting families in their time of need means planning a service that's appropriate, traditional or personalized, with special references to public service or military honors. Often people ask, how can I assist the family? The answer is usually just be there for them. And in some cases, it may mean securing the home, taking care of pets, and compiling important documents. The dedicated staff at the Estepardo Memorial Chapel will guide you through the process, whatever your needs. For more information about pre-planning, please call 767-5577. They're located at 1583 Diamond Hill Road, Woonsocket.
Hi, this is Joe Callahan, your maitre d' inside the Tiki Bar, heard Monday nights at 6 on ON Radio. It's 1 full hour of Jimmy Buffett music. The Tiki Bar is brought to you by Attorney Bob Lauder, the Carew Investment Group, Pep and Lumber, and Family Discount Furniture. All right, it's Coffee and on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with John Ward, Melissa Smith, and Amanda LaRose for Navigant Credit Union. Time for first message. Amanda from Navigant.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, Navigant Credit Union just launched their new Kickstart Savings last week, I believe, or the week before, May 1st, so last week. Our Kickstart Savings is really geared towards our younger kids who are looking to learn how to start saving and to become financially responsible with their money. Kickstart Saving is available for any child under the age of 12. Every year on their birthday month, they will receive a $5 credit to their account, courtesy of Navigant, as a happy birthday to them. We do need a parent or legal guardian on the account, but it is a great way for kids to start learning how to save, and why not get a little bonus from Navigant at the end of it every year. So
Very good. All right, so I'm going to bring this subject up, and John, I don't know if you want to comment on it or not. You don't have to, of course.
Me? An opinion?
Well, only because, well, wait till I say what it is first. All right, we got a press release from the Attorney General, Peter Nerona, and he's announced that a Woonsocket man has been charged in Providence County Superior Court with domestic stalking and cyber harassment after his arrest by the Woonsocket Police on March 17th. The man charged is Bob Morrow.
We know who that is.
Bob was a former police officer former head of the Woonsocket Housing Authority, former Woonsocket City Council person and council president. But he's been charged with 1 count of domestic stalking, 1 count of domestic cyber stalking, and 1 count of domestic disorderly conduct. Woonsocket police responded on March 16th, reports of a domestic disturbance at a residence on Moran Street. According to the victim, the defendant followed her to a local restaurant, drove by the restaurant multiple times while she was inside, and after she left the restaurant, it is alleged that the defendant approached the victim on the street near her house, only leaving when she threatened to call the authorities. And on the following day, the victim provided investigators with a detailed account of the defendant's recent behavior, including copies of text messages and emails, of which she received hundreds within 1 month's time. Later that day, police executed an arrest warrant and took the defendant into custody. He is scheduled for a pre-arraignment conference in June 15th. Are you surprised this has happened, John, knowing what has happened in the past here?
I'm not going to say surprised. I'm just going to say our humanity shows sometimes, and you got to be careful what you do. And sometimes this can be very embarrassing for him, I'm sure.
Well, sure.
And his family. And if there was a woman who was being abused, then good for her for reporting it and doing what she felt was necessary to protect herself. But it's not an excusable behavior, and I'll leave it to the courts to decide whether or not he's guilty or not.
All right. Melissa or Amanda, any thoughts on this? I don't know if you know Bob or where he was, the status that he had in the city here for a while. We're both shaking their heads no.
Don't need to
So, okay.
probably add anything extra.
All right, very good. We have a note that was called in, 766-1240. It just says on the 6:30 a.m. news this morning, Biden says it's going to be chaotic for a while pertaining to the new border laws that start tomorrow. No kidding, Joe.
We got
Joe, not me, Joe.
We got
Biden.
everything under control now. It's just going to lose it a little bit.
It is going to be chaos down there.
It is chaos down there.
Well, it is chaos now. It's going to be even worse.
I mean, the people
Super
who are
chaos?
waiting to get into the country aren't even camped out in Mexico. They're camped out on the streets in El Paso, waiting to go through something to get registered as asylum seekers. There's no such thing as illegal immigrants anymore. They're all asylum seekers.
Are they all? But do they even say that
I don't
when
know.
they cross
Somehow
the
it
border?
seems like it's mostly males. Males and unaccompanied children seem to be seeking asylum, not so
What are
much
the
women.
females? What are they seeking?
Oh. They're busy getting raped by the cartel members before coming over. Before being dumped in the dirt over the river.
You paint a nice picture there, John.
It's ugly down there.
Oh, I agree.
Just ask Eric Adams.
I don't know who
They're
does that.
exporting it to the city of New York and Chicago.
Oh, right. Yeah, we have no more.
They've run out of room.
Yeah, we can't take any more. So okay.
But
I don't know, and I don't know what the answer is.
I'm actually interested in seeing what these House Republicans are saying they're going to release today from the whistleblower about the Department of Justice slow walking the Hunter Biden investigation or covering things up. It's going to be an interesting day
Other
today
than
and tomorrow.
Washington.
DC is getting toxic, more toxic,
More
I
toxic.
was like getting. No.
more toxic.
All right, so just be glad we're up here in New England, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Kind of far from the border, so
Doesn't affect us as much.
I know, but it does.
It does. Mm-hmm. If you look at
Things
the city,
filter up.
if you look at the population of Providence, if it were allowed to be known, I would be interested to know how many students in the city of Providence's public school system are actual citizens of the United States, or have parents who are citizens of the United States, or a parent who is a citizen of the United States.
I don't
Can't
know.
find out.
No.
So I'm not going to dwell on it. It's just one of those things. We have a lot of undocumenteds who make their way to Rhode Island, tend to congregate in Providence.
All right. Well, it's just going to get uglier.
It is, and then we can worry about the debt ceiling and defaulting on our debt.
Are you guys worried about the debt ceiling? Amanda says no.
I know. I'm going to default to the bank expert in the room. But
Good luck with that today.
Does it affect
it's-
Navigant and other financial institutions?
I'm everything financial,
Affects.
affects a financial institution.
Yeah.
I've been in banking for 15 years, and I was talking to another branch manager yesterday, and she's like, the rate wars are crazy right now. Like we've never had to deal with. It's always been, like, oh, I want a little bit more, but it is crazy right now. The bartering and the rates that are being affected, and prime, and it's nuts, and you don't know what the right answer is sometimes,
Pretty
right?
soon they'll have to start giving out dishes again.
Spaghetti spoons, right?
If you open up an account, yeah.
No, I can believe it. It's
Yeah,
I know
it's-
you say you've been in banking for 15 years, but it's such a short time. But you have to have lived long enough to be around back in the 70s and the early 80s when rates were nuts. And this is actually a mild form, to my mind, when we're talking about 6% and
Oh yeah,
things of
absolutely.
that nature, because it's not the 12%.
I remember the 12%.
Or
Yeah.
the credit cards with 30% and things of that nature. So where some people are saying, I can't even afford a car loan. It's like, no, you don't know what a real car loan is. So it's going to be difficult because I don't see there being when you say 15 years, that means essentially you have been in banking for.
So it's probably longer because I've been with
Yeah.
Navigant for 10. So I'm
Okay.
going to say maybe 22
Okay,
years I've been in banking.
Because there were, ever since the quantitative easing and the dumping of money into the system to keep the interest rates what I considered artificially low, you've really in the last 12 years been dealing with artificially low interest rates that were 0, 1, 2% when you go to borrow money. And now they're at 5 or 6%, and everybody's, fainting and worrying and panicked, when in fact the only people that are really hurt are those big regional banks that had all their investments in things that were adversely affected by an interest rate hike, and the Fed had to finally surrender and raise their interest rates.
I
Because-
think the hard part is that, and I budget people on a daily basis, and people are like, it's the cost of inflation, right?
Oh, yeah,
like,
that too.
Nothing
Doesn't-
has changed in my income,
No.
but yet everything's changing around me, right? And it's hard. And 9 times out of 10, when I talk to somebody, I'm like, okay, how much do you spend on food? And they're like, oh, $200. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, let's figure it out,
Yeah,
because food
that's
inflation
right.
has $200 may get you a week, not a month, right?
Yeah.
So let's be honest. But I think that's the hard part, is that your income may not have changed, right? Now, if you're taking your income from your CDs and you're getting that dividend each month, that may have gone up a little bit. But who is lucky enough to do
Right.
that, right? If you had the CD. But if you haven't, your income's not changing, but everything around us
Yeah,
has
the
gotten
cost
so
of your
much more
gasoline,
expensive.
It seems like it's still low, but it's crept up to $3.50 a gallon in most places.
Slowly.
Well, you're
Yeah.
getting numb to it. You're getting numb to the costs around you as well.
I
'Cause
was
they're just
I was watching this week on Sunday, and Chris Christie's one of the comment people in their powerhouse roundtable, as they call it, and he made a very quick little comment. He says, I don't know what you people think people are voting for president about, but they're going to be voting for president based on what I experienced this week when I had to go to the grocery store and I picked up items, and I had one bag in my hand when I walked out, and it cost me $53. It's like,
it's true.
oh, okay. But he's right.
Yeah.
You go, I'll never forget it. When I first got married, we'd go to the store. We'd pick up our food for the week, $25. If we pick up our food for the week, you got 5 bags, and you've got $160, $180. You go to dinner. Ordered 2 sandwiches. I don't know if I mentioned this last
You
week.
did.
Ordered 2 small
And I
sandwiches
thought of that
from,
this
a, from,
weekend.
a, from a sandwich shop.
Yeah.
$20.
Yeah.
2 small sandwiches.
Yeah.
Nope, it's true.
6-inch sandwich.
Yeah, right.
$20.
I
And
know.
then the chips, it went up to 24.
I know. Even getting a hamburger at a restaurant now, you're paying like $20 for that hamburger. Like I have 2 kids that have hearty appetites and eating
So,
adult entrees, and it's
if
like,
any-
wow, it's no longer.
If anyone ever wonders why Beef Barn is doing so well, you go there, you get good food. They give it to you on a paper plate with a plastic fork, yes, but you're getting value. for your
Sure.
money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Compared to pretty much every other restaurant you can think of, because the costs are just so high.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. So, Amanda, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union.
How about we just tie in those rates right away? So our Journey Rewards checking account is our checking account to make your life a little more rewarding. It is an earning of 4.5 annual percentage yield on balances up to $20,000. You do have to do 3 qualifications, which is enroll in e-statements, have a direct deposit, and use your debit card 12 times, but you will earn 4.50 annual percentage yield on your balance up to $20,000. It's a great product. If you are currently in it, then you are already receiving the 4.50. If you are not, you can certainly switch into that account as long as you qualify with the 3 qualifications. If you have any questions, please visit our website at www.navigantcu.org or call our call center at 401-233-4700.
Thanks, Amanda. More of Coffee Ants coming up. Stay tuned.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Experience Pictures at an Exhibition, a concert by the Rhode Island Wind Ensemble to benefit the glorious St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center. Sunday, May 21st at 3 p.m. at St. Anne's, 84 Cumberland Street, Woonsocket. Admission is $20 and all proceeds benefit the St. Anne Arts and Cultural Center. Tickets are available at Beela's Flowers, Creative Impressions, The Honey Shop, Timeless Antiques, Vos True Value Hardware, or call 401-356-0713. We'll see you there.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Amanda LaRose, Melissa Smith, and John Ward. And so we have this story out of Massachusetts. And see if you agree with this. Philip Morris USA, the cigarette people, they've been ordered to pay $37 million to a woman from Newton, Massachusetts, who developed brain cancer from smoking Marlboro Light cigarettes. Okay? The Massachusetts State Supreme Judicial Court ruled that Philip Morris falsely claimed that light brands were safer than the stronger Marlboro Red cigarettes. Okay? The court agreed with Patricia Walsh Green that she may have quit smoking sooner if Philip Morris had not advertised Marlboro Lights as a healthier product. A judge announced after the verdict that Philip Morris has also violated consumer protection laws. Yes, Melissa.
I mean, how are we defining healthy, right? So no matter what, cigarettes are not healthy and they're detrimental to your health. Period. There's no less healthy or more healthy or
more
however.
healthy cigarette.
No matter what, it's unhealthy. It's
Yeah.
So I actually am surprised she won this. You're saying she won
She
the
won.
case.
Oh yeah, she
I'm
won
surprised too.
$37 million.
And
Doesn't she have some responsibility for actually taking up
Yes.
the habit to begin
that's,
with?
and I'm trying to think of who was representing them because I feel like that would be a very valid case to make is what volume, and you also would have to provide evidence of volume of cigarettes consumed, right? So do you have receipts tallied for the last however many years with evidence supporting how many packs you smoke per week?
Does
Like
she
how do
have
you?
to take a stupidity test to figure out that
No.
whether or not she actually believed that her light cigarette was healthier?
Well, that's what they're
Despite-
going on.
despite the fact-
Despite that's what they claimed.
They never changed the Surgeon General warning on the pack
No,
to
that
make
always
it
stayed the
different
same.
for light cigarettes, did
No.
And it's like, well, let's use Coors Light versus Coors or Miller Light versus Miller. You have a light, and sometimes you consume twice as much because it's light. So,
right.
is there a possibility that she consumed, not
More
consumed,
cigarettes?
or what's the right word for that? I don't know.
Inhaled.
You're right.
Inhaled, twice as many
Many
cigarettes, thinking they were light
Yes.
versus strong. Like, how is this a difficult case to prove?
There was lower tar, but there was not necessarily lower nicotine. So
Right.
the
No.
addictive
I guess-
quality is the same.
The question I have is cancer happens
Yes.
without anybody being healthy or unhealthy with any extra additives, right? Alcohol, cigarettes and stuff. So how my question would be, how did she
do
prove
you
that
connect
she
that?
got brain cancer because she
Right.
smoked light
Right.
cigarettes? You know,
I'm
like,
so glad you made that point because it's one of the things I've always objected to public safety workers who have laws passed that say that there is an automatic connection between certain cases of, say, cancer, and now they're after other issues. Any kind of heart problem, they're saying, is automatically connected to work. And it's like, wait a minute, there are people born and have hereditary heart disease issues. And if they manage to get hired into one of these professions, somehow, once they finally develop what they know they're going to get, because mom and dad had it, it qualifies as a work-related disability so that they get a tax-free pension for the rest of their life. I find that objectionable. And I think this is exactly the point you make there is, how do you specifically
Where do you-
connect her brain cancer to the smoking of Marlboro Lights?
Well,
I don't know
maybe-
how you do that.
Well, maybe. Well, I don't have it here, but maybe they did bring in doctors
Especially
who
brain
testified.
cancer.
That
It's not
said-
it wasn't even lung cancer.
no, it's brain cancer.
It's brain cancer.
maybe they
So
have
even if she had
doctors.
MRI scans, let's just
Yeah.
put this out there, right? Like I have them every couple of years myself.
Mm-hmm.
I've got some stuff up in my head that's being looked at. So what is? So let's say I'm really trying hard not to laugh because this woman has brain cancer, but
Mm-hmm.
it just goes back to the evidence. So if you're even having regular scans of your brain because you've been diagnosed with brain cancer, there should be a connection of reduction of smoking as a result of that diagnosis, or did she continue smoking at that pace and then we're showing worsening of the cancer spread? I mean, no matter what, you're making bad choices. At the end of the day, the message is don't smoke, and
Well, right.
take that variable off the table.
As
Really?
as a former smoker, all I know is I got sick one time and my chest hurt like hell because I was having trouble breathing and I was coughing, and I probably had the flu, but it was the symptoms were so severe. I went to the doctors and he looked at me and said, as long as you keep smoking, it'll continue to get worse every time you have this problem. I said, okay,
So
that's
continue
enough.
smoking.
I was, just like
All
that,
done.
I was done.
All right.
Give me, at the time, we didn't have Nicorette. We had patches you put on your arm by prescription, so
Yeah.
I got the prescription, put
Did
the
it work?
patch on my arm, never smoked again.
All right, there you go. All right, other things going on in the news. I don't know if you heard this yesterday, but Robert De Niro is a dad for the 7th time. He's 79.
I think that
What a
beats
guy.
Tony Randall.
It does beat Tony Randall. I think you're right. De Niro's oldest child is 51.
I just don't understand it.
51
Oops, she's doing
newborn.
math.
Holy
Yeah.
I know.
moly.
So yeah, De Niro and his ex-wife, they divorced in 2018. They were married for over 20 years, but now his new girlfriend, Tiffany Chen, was showing the baby bump last month, and they think that's the mom. But he's 79 and he's got a new.
I gotta
How
tell
old
ya-
is his girlfriend? Does it say?
I do not have an age on.
I gotta
her.
tell you, if you are the 51-year-old oldest child,
Yes,
right?
that's the oldest. Yeah.
How embarrassed are you? Like I had friends in high
Take
school
his net
that
worth and divide by 1,000,000, and that's probably your age.
I had friends in high school that when we were graduating, I had 2 friends that had moms that became pregnant. So that was just like an 18-year gap, and they were embarrassed of that situation,
Yeah.
like to be in that. But 51 years.
Yeah.
is-
So
you-
she's
did you get an age?
64.
Wow.
What?
And had the baby?
Get out.
If this is who if this is who it is.
Tiffany Chen, Chen.
So maybe they're surprised.
Maybe it's a surrogate. Let's not go into the direction.
No,
of
they
this.
said she was showing the baby bump. So
64?
at 64. So
No.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
Because that would be on the news for different reasons, because that is up in the top tier of women who've been able to
Yeah.
successfully carry a baby to term with an at-risk. Like that would be an at-risk pregnancy.
Sure would
with
be.
her age.
All right. While Amanda looks that up.
I'm going down the rabbit hole now.
Yeah.
I'll be back tomorrow, folks.
All right. I know there's a shortage of substitute teachers around the nation, but you just can't let the class run wild when you're a substitute teacher. And this is in Lake County, Florida. Substitute teachers facing child abuse charges for reportedly allowing middle school kids to vape in class.
Oh, yep.
Police say Jennifer Hale was arrested in connection to the incident last week. The police report states that Hale gave a 7th grader her e-cigarettes after overhearing that he wanted to use one. Substitute reportedly admitted to giving the student her vape, claiming she wanted to fit in. District officials say she's no longer employed with them.
She wanted them to like her.
Yes.
Oh,
Please
isn't
like
that, that's
me.
so
Kumbaya.
cute.
Cute.
That's so cute.
Yeah. But vaping amongst kids is just. My daughter tells me in school.
It's-
Do your
it's
daughters tell you in
out of
school?
control.
It's
Not mine,
nuts.
thank God.
It's
No,
out
not
of
your
control.
kids.
Elementary, yeah.
But, oh, elementary. Okay, that's a little young. But yeah, girls' bathroom is just it's
bad.
it's outrageous.
And you would not get like I was shocked to learn how. So my daughter has shared how many student athletes smoke. Right, vape.
Yeah.
And there is a threat of if you get caught, you're done. You're not allowed to participate in sports. There's like some rule in our town, and coaches are aware of some of these kids doing it, and they're still doing it anyways. But I don't know how they can breathe in the field.
I don't know.
You know, they're killing their lungs. They don't even realize it because those are fruity flavors and stuff, right? That's the whole thing. It's disguised
That's right,
nicotine.
yeah.
So I don't really get it. But whatever. Kids are bored. That's
it's
all
not-
it is. The kids are
it's-
bored and they
it's
just.
not even kids. You go to an event and you see them in the bathroom vaping, right? You
Yeah.
see them in
Yeah.
public places vaping.
Well,
and
it's so
like,
easy. Yeah, I was in Cumberland House of Pizza this weekend and there was just a kid sitting in a chair waiting for his pizza order. And I'm like,
I mean, that's elite. That he
But you're
shouldn't
not
be able to
supposed to
do
do
that
that,
in a
yeah.
building.
but it's not putting out any smoke. So it's
yeah, it should
so
have been.
well. I'm not the owner, so I'm not going to yell at him.
Well,
but
I
he was
understand, yeah.
You're better than I am because I would have said something.
give him
like,
a
take it
mom
outside.
lecture.
Yep.
Do you know what you're doing to your lungs?
All right. Well, they allowed it. This woman allowed it in the classroom, and that's really
it's
what you
just
should be doing there.
crazy.
All right. All right. A woman in Utah who has written a children's book on how to deal with grief.
Okay.
All right. She's being charged with the murder of her husband. It is.
Sorry, I
It
didn't
is
mean-
funny.
I guess the way you deal with grief is to write a book.
Corey Richards was charged on Monday with
Oh.
aggravated murder, drug possession, and distribution. Investigators accused the 33-year-old killing her husband last year by giving him a drink spiked with deadly dose of fentanyl. That'll do it. Now, she released a book earlier this year titled Are You With Me?, which is described as a story about a child coping with losing their father to death. The couple have 3 children together during their 9-year marriage.
So she killed him. They had children together.
They've got 3
And
kids.
She wrote a book that was inspired by watching her children grieve the death of their dad.
No.
Wait a minute.
The book's already out. She wrote the book. It's been published.
Then
Right.
killed him.
Before she killed
Before
her
she
husband or
killed him?
after.
The book came out, and then she killed her husband.
Oh,
I was thinking it was
It
the
was-
other way around.
No,
It was
no,
a
no, no,
preparatory
no.
thing.
Oh,
instead
like
of-
it was
So they
instead
could
of a
read the
reactionary
book,
thing.
and then she would kill him, and then they would
they would know how to
have the
they would know how
tools
to cope.
already.
right. Oh, here you're grieving.
Wow,
Take
this
the
is
book.
what is wrong with people? This is the
Yeah, 'cause she
tagline
was-
at the end of every show. I feel like when you give these kinds of stories
Well,
is, what is wrong with
So
people?
she was charged on Monday. She's charged with killing her husband, Eric, last year. All right, but it doesn't say when the book actually came out. It says released the book earlier this year.
So she.
Oh, so it might be
she
the other way
released
around.
the book after she murdered her husband.
Yeah, for her kids.
Yeah.
Helping
Yeah.
them,
She was
helping them to
inspired.
cope.
Wow. It's inspiring.
What a good parent.
Wow.
I mean, at least she was trying to.
Not a good wife, just a good parent.
Just
Right.
this is
She cared
so-
about her kids enough to write the book. She didn't care about her husband enough to just say.
Yeah.
None of it's
Okay.
okay. That's the nutshell.
That's-
What's the movie with Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone? Basic Instinct. Basic Instinct?
Yes,
Oh,
basic
yeah.
instinct.
She says, I would be pretty stupid to write a book about killing a guy and then go killing someone in the exact same fashion. It's the same thing.
It's true.
Only
Without
not
the kids
not
and
both.
without the writing. Yeah. Oh, she actually wrote the book.
Yeah. Wow.
What is, I don't know.
I guess the question is, what was her motivation
I
in killing
know.
the husband?
It well doesn't say.
What did he do to merit?
Doesn't I don't have that
Spiked
in, I don't, with fentanyl. Jeez, that's rough.
It's
God.
more than just spiked.
Yeah. All right. This is kind of humorous. 2 Oklahoma police officers. They have a funny story to tell. They responded to reports of someone yelling for help.
Okay.
So they have their body cams videos are going. When they get to the to place, they arrive on scene. It's a rural area, and soon discovered that the sound was actually a very upset goat. Calling for help. The owner of the goats explained the goat was mad because they were being separated from another goat. He wanted to get together with his
no.
friend. And,
Wasn't there a video going around a couple years ago about police coming? There was a guy washing his car outside, and the neighbors called the police because they heard a woman screaming in the house. And the police showed up. The guy was washing his car outside, and the
Sounds
police were
familiar.
like, "Oh, you have a reports of a woman screaming, and it was his bird.
It was a bird. Yeah, yeah.
It was
yeah.
his parakeet or whatever. It was screaming, but in a woman's
Yeah.
voice. So they thought it was.
He said, "Come on in, sit,
Yeah,
take
come
a look."
on in, see what's screaming.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah. That's that's
It just
funny.
made my day. Like that.
So I didn't think goats could make such a close
Yeah.
human cry for help, such a noise. That it could be.
Never had one.
It could be. Oh yeah, that's definitely a person calling for help. We got to check out what's going on.
I bet you just mentioned videos, and I don't know why my head just went here. Have you caught any of the viral videos going around about people pranking for nothing at all? I don't know if I'm even making sense of this, but like, for example, Joe, if you were to jump up right now and start like running in place like there was something at
Oh,
your
like the
feet,
panic.
the reaction
Yeah.
of the people around you would follow your lead.
You'd
Oh,
all
it's
jump up and
Oh
start to
hysterical.
say,
my
really?
gosh, I can't stop watching them because I am someone who easily gets jumped. Like
Manipulated
I
like
just
that?
am on edge, and if you were to jump up right now and act as though there's a mouse at your feet, I would
would
scream
faint.
and I would be up on top of my chair.
Oh, now that's
it's
funny.
that kind of stuff. Or like walk out the door and pretend like something swooped down at your head, and then the reaction of the other person is following your lead. If you haven't seen these,
I've seen
It
something
gives you a
like
good
that.
chuckle.
The people that do the chalk drawings
On the
on,
ground.
on concrete, and they,
Oh,
and
yes.
they make a drawing of like a hole,
it looks like
and
that.
someone
that-
steps over it, so everybody steps over it
Yes.
after that. Yeah, I have seen
Oh
those.
my
Those are
God.
really
The one
funny.
where they showed where the glass walkway and
Oh,
it
breaks.
breaks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
instantly
That's
panicked,
freaky.
and I'm like, I couldn't.
So cool.
Yeah.
I would be like the guys jumping on
Yeah,
the side, hanging on.
holding on
Oh,
the side of
God.
the railing.
All right, we got to run. We've come to the end of the program. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Amanda, thanks for coming in.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
All right, Melissa, thanks for coming in.
Good to see you. See you next week.
Be careful at the drive-thru now.
Rest of the week will be beautiful, and
That's
everybody
right.
enjoy the God-given day.
Thanks, John. I'm Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. They're coming up at 9:30 with Do You Remember here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Legislation was considered last night that would create an income-sensitive tiered subsidy program for Rhode Islanders struggling to pay electric or gas bills. The House Committee on Corporations held a hearing on the proposal to create a discounted price for customers whose household income is or is below 150% of the federal poverty level. If the bill is eventually passed, it would be enacted in 2024. According to a published report, the FBI says that Rhode Island is one of the safest states in the country for police officers.